to get the line between the point of your share and here.
I see.
If you follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, right now, the point of your share, you're right in here, and this is where, actually, when you're plowing, any plow should always be in the center of the beam when you're finished. Running level,
Yeah.
the center of the beam, and you can vary a little bit on the hole here. It all depends how it's pulling. And the other thing is your coulter is what leads it. That's just like a rudder in a boat.
Yeah.
Right on your double tree, middle.
Yeah, high or low, yeah. That's where you'd have to make an adjustment this
Yeah.
way, yeah.
It all depends how high your horses are too.
That's
You-
right,
you
if you've
can
got a tall
rotate,
team,
right?
then you've got to adjust this or you got to short.
Then you have to bring her up here on the last green furrow, and a lot of the old guys didn't know this, but you play around long enough and then it gives you enough suction into the ground, pulling her down, and also you go to this side here and then you hang on to beat hell, it says, because there's quite a strain on the end. 436 is what, on the regular plow is how high. Then your
Little short guys would have a struggle with this.
Oh, yeah, the little short guy. He just get up in here. That's where I learned, you know.
Hey,
I was in here when I learned to plow.
you're kidding.
Dad, he was on the back end.
Isn't that dangerous?
Well, not them days it wasn't. The horses were so tired they didn't go run any place
Do
anything.
you ever hit a stone or a root?
Not in our place we didn't. All right. Well, this here is a Highcut plow made by J. Fleury and Sons in Aurora, Ontario. And these here are the share and coulter, which I'll name it shortly here, is all hand forged in those days. Now to start out with the main body of the plow is this one here, the main casting on the other side, and then this is the beam. And the beam is mounted to the main body, and all the components are attached to the beam or the main body. Now we'll go out to the front, which gives you the adjustment here for the difference of the draft on the plow for starting out, because this plow starts on an angle of around 30 degrees to the left. And this is the cross adjustment here. On the head of the plow here, this is the up and down adjustment, which gives you the more suction to the ground or less. It all depends on the height of the horses or how much suction is in the share. Now you're coming back on the beam here. This here has a cutting wheel. Now this is different than a standard plow. This one here, cuts the sod here, and this gives you the depth of the furrow that you're going to plow from here down into the bottom of the furrow here. And coming back on this beam here, this is a knife coulter, which is set on this plow here with a certain amount of cut here to the side here, and I'll explain that after. Because of this, the cut on there, this plow is going to cut diamonds, and this is where the high cut part comes in. But I'll explain how that all comes after here. The bottom down here, this is the share of the plow. This is the one here that they hand forge, and you set it here and all the angles you want there to get the right diamond shaped furrow. Coming back on it, this is the moldboard here, and this is moldboard they call this. And this here, the reason for the length of that there is because they're cutting such narrow furrows there is to keep them from breaking up, and that gives you this one here has got 4.5 feet from the point of the share to the end of the moldboard. Some are 5 feet long, but they're all in that vicinity of length there. Then in the back end here, you get into the handles here. And then there's the handles here. The length of the handles has to be that length to get the purchase on the horses and the purchase on the turning of the furrow here. Now these handles here, I measured them here and there up and around 35 inches. Normally about 35. Normally a 34 to 36 is a standard on a normal plow there. Now this here cannot, and most of them cannot be adjusted up and down. The only way they could be is that there's a shorter handle in there that brings them down a little bit lower. These plows here are quite heavy till they get the right setting on here, and it all depends on the pull of the horses and all that sort of thing. But then we go back here to the, I call it the high cut. I'm going to just explain to you why the difference of a high cut. In an ordinary plow, the furrow can be anywhere from, say, 6 to 6.5 inches deep and 10 inches on the sod plow. Comparing it to this one here, this plow here will not plow that wide because of the difference in width of the share. And the width of the share controls the width, and this plow will never plow any more in the regulations than 8 inches wide in high cut. And it'll go down 6.5 inches deep. And the idea is to be cutting diamonds, and that's why this share is up this way here, and the coulter is on a different angle here. So when that furrow is inverted, you're sitting across the field with all these diamonds. Now you wonder why they do that, because in one operation they'll plow a field and seed it, and they start in and they plow here, and instead of having to disc and harrow and all the rest of it afterwards there, they take and they plow this and put it into diamonds, broadcast the seed by hand, and put the harrows over it, and that is it, because of all the little V's across the field. It takes them quite a while to plow it, but they only have to do one operation besides broadcasting the seed by hand and putting the harrows over it. And that is finished. On the regular sod plow or general purpose plow, they were using skimmers, but on these here, these high cut, there was this cutter wheel and the depth wheel here. But this one here hasn't got the cut that this Flurry has up there. And they'll bring it over here 2 inches and get it like this here. Because if one guy goes and beats another one, they go to the blacksmith shop and say, we got to change this here. So they'd put more this way and more that way, and then you get a sharper diamond.
Oh, I
That's
see.
what they're after.